Okay, I got a quick lesson for you which delves into trig stuff. And so we put off trig for a little while because we needed the quotient rule, which you'll see in a second. So we're going to go quick through this. We're going to go quick through this. There we go. Okay, so we're talking about trig functions. We're going to get all 6 today. And then I think we've talked about 2 already, didn't we? Sine and cosine, did we talk about that? No? Okay, well this will be a new experience for you. I decided to push off the harmonic motion stuff. We'll get to that later. And then, of course, today you should thank somebody for something. Whatever that something is. Whether they give you a gummy bear or whatever. Or they get out of your way while you're running down the hallway to get to your calc quiz. I wish there was a more elegant way to do this, but you just got to know these. Okay, the derivative of sine is cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. One of the things that's going to happen a lot is you understand what cofunctions are, yes? So that cosine is the cofunction of sine. Cosecant is the cofunction of secant. Cotangent is the cofunction of tangent. The thing to remember is that the cofunctions have the minus signs on them. The original functions do not. Okay, so this, I mean, I'd like to preach all day about not memorizing, but the fact of the matter is you're all going to go home and just memorize these 6 derivatives. Okay, but I want to show you where they come from so that if you get into a bind and you don't remember, for instance, what the derivative of tangent is, you can still be self-sufficient enough to figure it out on your own. Okay, so let's, whoa. Did it again. This thing, I need a new clicker, kids. That's all there is to it. Let's go back to here. No, here. No, here. That one, bingo. Okay, how do I find the derivative of tangent? Because we now have the quotient rule, I can simply say, well, the tangent can be written as sine x over cosine x. Okay, so let's call that f of x. We'll keep things nice and neat here. F prime of x. Cosine squared x on the bottom. Bring that up to the top. Derivative of sine is? Cosine. Minus, big honkin' bracket. The numerator times the derivative of the denominator, and the denominator is negative sine x. Okay, that's big, long, and scary. However, if we do some work, cosine squared x plus sine squared x, over cosine x quantity squared. All right, give it to me. What's cosine squared plus sine squared? 1. Almost done, kids. What's the fancy schmancy name for 1 over cosine quantity squared? Secant squared. And we're done. You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Should I do anything about that, or?
Yeah.
Nice try. No, they can fend for themselves. Now, we could go through the other 4 functions and do the same thing. We could do cotangent by writing it as cosine over sine, taking the derivative, getting the answer. We could do secant as 1 over cosine. We could do cosecant as 1 over sine and continue with all that festivity. However, we're not going to do that. What I am going to do is go to this little chart here. Yeah, oh, look, here, I did it already. Jeez, I should learn from my own slideshows. Secant squared, good, I got it right. Yeah! There you go. There's the 6 of them. And like I said, many of you are just going to memorize this chart. But again, if you're in a pinch and you're taking a quiz or a test or the AP test and you can't remember what the derivative of cotangent is, you can always derive it by doing quotient rule on cosine over sine. And again, look at the cofunctions are the ones that have the minus signs. The derivative of cosecant is negative sine. The derivative of cosecant is negative blah, blah, blah. Now, what I would do if I were you is I would look for some patterns here. And in case you don't see those patterns, let me illustrate them for you. If we focus on these three, and just focus on those three, how would you get the other three? Okay, so notice, the derivative of sine is cosine. So what's the derivative of cosine? Well, it's a cofunction, it's going to have a minus sign, and it's going to be the other function. The derivative of tangent is secant squared. So the derivative of cotangent is minus, because it's a cofunction, the other related function, cosecant squared, the cofunction, if you will. Derivative of secant is secant tangent, therefore the derivative of cosecant is the opposite of cosecant cotangent. Whatever works for you, kids. Questions? Again, many of you are going to memorize, which I'm not vehemently opposed to, but we can probably skip this, yes? Product rule, you do see that as a product rule, right? Now, let me talk about this very briefly. If I wanted to take this derivative, I could do it a couple different ways. What I would do is consider this one function and this the other function, and then use the product rule. However, some of you might feel the need to distribute that cosine and rewrite this as x squared times the cosine of x plus 3x times the cosine of x. And this is still f of x. There's nothing wrong with that, except in doing this, now all of a sudden I created one product rule here and one product rule here. And I think you would agree with me when I say that's probably not a really good thing to do. So just stay with this bad boy. Derivative of the first times the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. Again, another example equation of the tangent line, and we're done. That was easy. Told you it'd be quick. Discard. Stops the recording.